she's getting her long hair cat grooming bath and blowout. Basically how women who don't need a haircut, they go to a blowout bar and they get their hair washed and blown out. Yep, that's pretty much the standard of care for a long haircut. You just wash and blow out. Anyway, what we're going to do is just prepare her coat before the bath. Just looking for any kind of landmines. And I usually like to do the face trim before the bath, or at least try to get some of it done, because right now she's purring. She's in a happy place. Yeah. She's like, what are you doing? She's like, what are you doing? Nothing. Alright, well, we'll mess with that later. She's being a little evasive. Alright, that's just a little flea comb. That was really great at grabbing all that eye gunk. Just got a little knot right there. So let's grab for this little mat breaker by Little Pals. You can grab that. Give that a few passes, and then it should just pop right out. Let's see. Yeah. Her ears are really bad. I don't know whether to tackle some of that now or after the bath. It's really bad. She's like a 20 Q-tip kind of gal. It's really, really bad. Owner can't seem to get ahead of it. All right, let's do some of it now. Get some of these Q-tip and soaked. This is the Tress ear flush that I'm using. Get some of that done. Usually I do this after the bath, but there's so much going on. She's like, stop. My ears are fine. No, they're not. No, they're not. What's your definition of fine, little lady? Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on to Q-tip number 6. This could be a 20 Q-tip kind of grooming. Alright, that's enough for now. So for her add-on services, she's going to get a full belly shave and something we call pretty panties. Just going to trim back the fall on the back of her legs, almost like what you would call a poop trail if she were a dog, something like that. The technical term would be pants trim in the grooming industry, but we call it pretty panties if it's a girl, and then going commando if it's a boy. But the technical term is called pants trim. So. All right, what are we up to? 15? Yeah, 15 Q-tips. Holy moly! Holy moly! Alright, I'll get things started. Alright, in the trash. Waka. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's start with her nails. Let's get that on? She's like, they're fine. No, this is part of your grooming, Sushi. You don't need these. She's like, I do. They're my decorating tools. What are you redecorating? Your mom's curtains? Her couch. Yeah, you're lucky you don't have soft claws on. You know, cats get rehomed for things like that. She's like, really? Yep. Yepper. $2,000 couch versus a rescue cat. She's like, I'm not a rescue. I'm a purebred. Well, you're a purebred who was found in a rescue. So, technically you're both. Right? But don't make your owner choose between their $2,000 to $5,000 couch over you, because some people are going to choose the couch, little sweetie. She's like, really? They choose their couch over me? Yep. They would. They would. They will and they would. Alright. This is just the Life Pooch detangling spray. Pre-bath treatment. It's not something you want to use if you're not planning on giving your cat a bath, because it does have oils. So, yeah, it's just strictly for right before the bath. But this will cause a beautiful path of least resistance for any grooming tools to go through quite easily and nicely. I'm just looking for any landmines. She's in really good condition.
Caught.
Hi. I didn't quite hear what you said. What I heard, Epcot. Her name is Sushi. And your tail. Your glorious, glorious tail. Good girl. I'm using the biggest, whitest tooth comb I have.
It's adorable.
Yeah. So she's a little, sweet little thing. Sweet little thing. I'll never forget her first day here. She was just one big manic mess. The owner wasn't quite sure what she had gotten herself into when she adopted this cat from a shelter. She didn't realize the upkeep, nor was she told. God forbid the rescue would say what kind of maintenance, because they don't want to discourage anyone from adopting the cat, right? So their first priority is get the cat out the door, right? Yeah. Let's just get the cat out the door. Get her adopted. So what she's being put in is called the natural, which is going to shave out her entire undercarriage. And this is kind of like a cheat sheet or cheat code to help owners be able to keep their cat in full coat, or give the appearance or illusion of a cat in full coat. But about 30% is gone. The whole undercarriage is just shaved out, right? And that's one way. It's like a cheat. It's one way to keep the cat in full, semi-full coat, right? All right. Happy, Hoodie? She's like, yeah. Wanna make you happy? She's like, I'll get back to you on that. I don't know about that. All right. Safety clipper. The one is all. It's going to get under her armpits, which is a very sensitive part of the cat. right? It's about 25 bucks on Amazon. And brush. Brush would be helpful. Self sucker. Mm-mm-mm. They're everywhere. Mm-hmm. Alright, so what I'm going to do is look for the old original belly line so I'm not creating new short hairs. Girl. She's like, are we there yet? Not even close. She's like, what do you mean? No, you're getting a whole bath. Whole bath and blowout. She's like, great. She's like, you mean it's not Wednesday night? Nope. It's Thursday morning. She wants a mega sanitary clip. So extra large around the sanitary area. On top of the pretty panties. I guess she's a messy pooper. Are you a messy pooper? She's like, stop embarrassing me. She's asking. This is some things you don't ask a lady.
Been loving all your grooming tutorials and have learned so much.
Oh, cool.
Thank you for sharing.
You are so welcome. There's just not enough out there. And the pet grooming industry has deemed it necessary to pull back the education, which I learned when I went to the Hershey Pet Expo this year. They literally canceled the all-day cat grooming seminar, which is what dog groomers look forward to try to further their education in cat grooming, right? There is no cat grooming educational booth anywhere on the floor. What the hell's going on, right? I don't know why. I don't know why it's like that. But I'm in Pennsylvania, so in this neck of the woods, for whatever reason. So, being able to offer a day in the life at a cat grooming salon where you come across every single character, every single service request, every single scenario of what owners are looking for when it comes to help with their cat's grooming, it just gives a really nice overall general knowledge of what goes on in the day in life at a cat grooming salon, right? So that's what I'm trying to do, which is like one of the best ways to learn, right? There's a saying, calm waters don't make great sailors, right? Calm waters don't make great sailors. That means if all you have access to is a perfect cat getting a perfect grooming on social media somewhere, that's not going to help you when it comes to working with different temperaments, right? It's not going to help you. So, Alright, all that's done. Clear. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get her in the tub. Just try to break this up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Get all these fuzz bunnies out of her coat. Otherwise, they're going to, during her bath, they're going to just mat back into her coat. So we don't want any of these fuzz bunnies trapped in her coat right now. Just get that all out. Waka waka. Mm-hmm. Waka. Mm-hmm.
Her love for the job and love for all the kitties is so very apparent. Our area in Virginia have no cat groomers.
Virginia?
I have to have my cat, Sage, groomed at my vet's office.
You have to have your cat, Sage, groomed at your vet's office. Well, veterinarian offices are not known for their grooming, just saying. A vet's office is the last place you would want to go when it comes to getting your cat groomed, right? That's just standard information in the pet grooming industry. You're gonna go to a vet's office. One, they don't have usually qualified groomers there. Usually it's a vet tech, right? They have no knowledge or training on grooming of cats, right? So you're right. What your idea of grooming at a vet's office, what does that entail? You know, because usually it does not entail any kind of a bath. When you're talking about veterinarian grooming, there's usually no bath associated with that. So, and if it's because of your cat's stress levels that forces you to go the vet, does that mean you have to get a sedate grooming? Is that what you're talking about? Because 7 out of 10 vets will only groom a cat if they're fully sedated, right? That's the normal MO at a veterinarian office. So that going rate is about $350 in this area. But there are some rogue vets out there who will go off that mark. Had one lady last week who was quoted $700 to groom her 17-year-old pelted cat. $700 she was quoted, right? So that vet had no problem taking $700 from a little old lady and had no problem sedating a 17-year-old cat who was bony and frail, right? Right? And not once was it ever mentioned to the owner that a $2 capsule called gabapentin could bypass any stress levels. Nope, that knowledge was kept from that owner. They've been gatekeeping the knowledge of gabapentin for over 20 years now. 20 years, right? All right. Let us get her close to the tub and get some of this degreaser started. Right this way. Hopefully the Bluetooth will keep its connection, but if it doesn't, I'm only about 5 inches from the screen, so I'll be able to see what you're saying. All right, Sushi. Ready, steady, here we go. We're gonna start with some Pink Pow Pow degreaser on her head and chinny chin chin. Yeah. Pink Pow Pow is great because it's really easy to rinse out, and it works so good that you usually only have to wash once afterwards. Only unfortunate thing about Pink Pow Pow is about $100 for a little tub like that, whereas the groomers
Exactly right.
a
There
groomer's
is no baths involved and my cat does have to be sedated. It is extremely costly.
Well, that can mean a couple of things. One, you brought your cat to a vet who just automatically sedates regardless of the temperament of your cat. Or your cat has been deemed ungroomable unless it's sedated. Right? There's two different things going on there. I mean, you could have the perfect, most beautiful temperament cat, but if you bring it to a vet, 7 out of 10 times they're going to sedate it regardless of the cat's temperament, right? And then you have the other scenario, which is a cat who has been deemed a problem child, and it can only be groomed under sedation. So, do you know which one your cat is? And usually that information that your cat can only be sedate groomed is coming from a dog groomer who attempted to groom your cat, but because they have no actual training for cat grooming, they blame the cat for them not being able to groom the cat. They didn't blame themselves for not getting actual training for the service that they're advertising. No, they didn't blame themselves, they blamed your cat. So, it is what it is, right? Nothing is what it seems in the pet grooming industry when it comes to cat grooming, right? You're left just trying to connect the dots, trying to understand what to do and how to do it, right? And if you live on the main line in Pennsylvania, especially if you're a woman and you're older, you're going to be talked into having your cat sedate groomed, right? There's lots of money in that, right? Lots of money. And another lady who is calling around looking for grooming for her cat, I don't know why she just automatically assumed that only a vet could groom her cat. I don't know where she got that in her head. So she started calling around. And a veterinarian booked her for sedate grooming, right? It wasn't her vet. Cat had never seen the vet before. But the vet had booked her for a sedate grooming, sight unseen, doesn't know anything about the cat's temperament, doesn't know anything about the condition of the cat's coat, never once mentioned anything about gabapentin, right? And if there was any vet in this area, 10-mile radius, every vet would know who I was, right? These line cuts here in this area, what I charge is fairly a low price, but everything else is, a jack up. But if you're looking just for a line cut, I keep that price fairly decent for everyone to be able to afford, right? And so that never once mentioned who I was, and never once mentioned the use of gabapentin, which of course, if you're doing one treatment, it should only cost you $2 to $5. If you're doing 2 treatments, it only costs you, if you're working with capsules, it only costs you like $6 to $10, depending on what vet you get it from and how much they charge, right? Alright, so anyway, let's get her face washed. She's like, yeah, you need to stop talking. I am. My God, you're being very demanding, Sushi. She's like, no, I just got things to do today. Really? Like what? Let me guess. Shopping. You've turned you into a mainline woman, haven't they? All you do is eat, sleep, and shop, right? She's like, pretty much. Mm-hmm. How did I know that? Back in the day, most people could only go to a vet to get their cat groomed because dog groomers didn't offer it, right? But that was back in the day. Things have changed, right? Things have evolved. She's like, really? Yeah, really and truly. start with your eyes. Ready, steady, here we go. She's like, that feels good. Yeah, I know. Nice warm washcloth is my preference for when I'm washing the cat's face because it's nice and warm and comfortable. And they're usually not trying to get away, you know. Whereas if you're trying to use something like a cold baby wipe, well, it's cold. You can get a heated baby wipe. A baby wipe heater, that might work out for you. They sell those, right? And the ears, how are they doing? Let's give them one more quick clean. So we don't want any of that gunk getting on her clean fur, right? All right, here we go. Let's start with the rinse. We're gonna do our head, mane, and front paws all in one section. We're gonna break it down into sections. Head, mane, and front paws, and then back, legs, and tail, and then the body. So we're gonna do 3 separate sections. Right now we're just rinsing out her degreaser. She's like, am I going to be a supermodel when I'm done? Yeah. Yepper. She's like, what am I modeling? What do you want to model? What do you got? You want to model the cat dryer? She's like, I can do that. Alright, I'll talk to your mom. I'll give you some meowing money. Meow money. Meow money. Yeah. Put you to work. Start paying for your grooming. She's like, oh, my mom would like that. She would. Alright. Alright, little true brush. Start the process. Good girl. Other cheek. Wee. Good girl. Say hi to your peeps, Sushi. She's like, I have peeps? Yeah, they're out there. You got YouTube peeps. She's like, really? How many people? Right now, 40. About 40. She's like, that's not bad. No, not at all. Soon you're going to be famous. You're going to be on the bulletin boards billboards in New York. In Times Square. She's like, really? Well, maybe. I don't know. You never know. You never know who's gonna see you and spot you and say, I need that cat. I need that cat. Just never know. I had a client who was talent spotted to be a model for a Kit Kat candy bar. They wanted the cat to advertise chocolate. What? Yeah, you know, chocolate. Which would unalive the cat, but yeah, the advertising execs thought, oh yeah, great idea. Whoever came up with that idea probably gets paid, what, how many figures? 6 figures a year to come up with that? Yeah. Waka waka. We are combining the purple shampoo, which is the Pooch Bright by Lay Pooch. We are combining that with the degreasing shampoo. Right? Basically doing 2 steps at the same time, so that we can still keep her shampoos to just 2. Right?
She's like, yeah. Whatever you say, lady.
Waka waka. Little Chubs Bar action for the prettiest boots. Little Chubs Bar is gonna give those boots a nice little polish.
She's like, you're polishing me? Yeah,
Sort of. You're gonna polish cat fur? Yeah. You never heard of that?
She's like, no, not really.
Oh, that's what I call it. Alright, other side. Good girl. Alright, let's get this bead brush going. I'll just pull out any of the tangles. And then let's rinse. Good girl. Did you look yourself in the mirror yet, Sushi?
Well, George.
She's like, no, why?
Because your face is purple.
His face, LOL.
Yeah, that's just a little beauty treatment.
Yeah.
Just a little beauty treatment. She's like, but why purple? Because it makes your white brighter. She's like, really? Yipper. You're doing it. Good girl. Alright, and rinse. Good girl. Good girl. Alright, like I said, we're going to break her down into sections. Head, mane, and front paws. Now we're going to do the back paws and tail. We're saving the body for last. I'm going to rinse out that groomer scoop. And Waka waka, you need the happy hoodie now? Usually after the face is done, you can put the happy hoodie on and that will help to keep the cat a little bit more comfortable levels. Not for all cats, but for a lot of cats. It's about 80% effective for helping to keep the cat calm. So, for any part of the grooming. That happy hoodie is usually, well, it was originally designed to help filter out any noises from hair dryers. Right? The velocity hair dryers that a lot of groomers have, a lot of them are very loud. And because velocity dryers have not been banned in any state in America yet for being used on cats, groomers still use them at full force, right? I have a velocity dryer, but it has a variable speed, right? So you can bring it down to its lowest, softest setting, and it's not going to scare the cat, right? Yeah. This little beast brush is just going to keep those tangles at bay. Girl. Now, sometimes I'll just go for the orifice instead of the Chuck's bar. Just depends on how dirty that area is, right? The orifice is like a liquid Chuck's bar that you get in a 7.5 pound tub. and it's used to get a really good lather. This isn't really hardly lathering up at all. That's how bad it is. So, a little bit more of that going. Good girl. Run that beads brush through. Make sure we're not creating any new tangles. Good. Good girl. Other side. Good girl.
She's like, are we there yet?
Almost. Almost, little lady.
And she's like, when do I get my contract to be on the billboard in New York City?
Yeah, well, we need to talk to your mom about that.
Okay. How much am I getting paid?
I'm not sure yet. Depends on what you want, what your currency is.
She's like, cash.
Really? You don't want fish, sushi, cat toys?
No, I want cash.
Really? You're a smart business lady. Most cats just take their churros and they're happy. Their bucket of churros and they're happy. Alright, rinsing out the rest of that groomer scoop. Just save the body for last. We did the first section with the head, knee, and front legs. Second section was the back legs and tail. And then the third section is the body. Give me 1 second. Together. I'm going to flip her around and get her out. Get her off the pedestal and put her in the tub. Right?
She's like, you're gonna try and drown me.
No. We're not drowning you. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to get her in the tub. Good girl. There we go. Whee! Good girl. Still on her first wash, the greasing. F&T and Orvis is what I just put in her coat. And mix that in with her warm wash. Good girl.
She's like, that feels good.
I know. There's that. Alright. Always make sure you keep an eye on any of those tangles. This will help pull any of that undercoat that's getting trapped out as well. Alright. This is where you probably think I'm trying to drown you, right, Sushi?
She's like, I know you're trying to drown me. Why would I do that?
You're my favorite client.
She's like, I am? You were.
There we go. There. Nice. Nice. Alright, rinse. Good girl. Alright, at that point her coat should be nice and pristine. almost reset to factory settings, right? And then from there, you're going to pick and choose what your next shampoo is going to be to finish her, right? It's called a finishing shampoo. So for her, I picked the Volume Shampoo by Chris Christensen, and I mixed a tablespoon of Thick and Thicker into that. Thick and Thicker is probably one of the best ways to condition your cat's coat without laying it down or making it look greasy, right? Thick and Thicker will actually make the cat's coat look fluffier, right? Alright, here we go. Here we go. You're gonna drown me with bubbles. No, I'm not. There you go. Alright, I'll hold up. So again, Top Cat Volume Shampoo, Thick and Thicker Volume Response Protein. Okay? What's that? That's a funny noise. What? What? What do you mean? What do you mean, Jelly Bean? What do you mean, Jelly Bean? Good girl. Alright, let's flush it. Actually, let's do the Beats brush first. Just make sure there's no tangles in her coat. This Beats brush is a lifesaver when you're working on a long hair coat at home, especially if you don't have a Caddyshack back or any kind of means to blow your cat's coat out. You definitely want to make sure all of those tangles are taken care of before you take your cat out of the tub, right? If you're a groomer and you've got some happy hoodies and a velocity variable speed dryer, then you don't have to worry about that. You can just blow it out, right? Yeah. Alright. And flush. Here we go. Last step. Whee! Good girl. She's like, are we there yet? Yep, almost there. Good girl. We're like, what the hell is she doing now? Well, if you follow any of the bath masters, the cat bathing masters around the world like I do, this is one of their techniques, one of the masters' techniques, right? Yes, there are bath masters, cat bathing masters, right? They're all around the world. You just gotta know where to find them. Plenty here in America, plenty in Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, all over the place. Alright, and rinse. Pull the plug. Good girl. Now, let's get her up and on top of the tub instead. Right? Good girl. You did it. Good girl. I'm going to take this off. Get rid of that soap ring that might be around her neck. Good girl. Waka waka. Good girl. Waka waka. You did it. You did it. You did it. Alright, let's see. Alright, all done. Ready, steady, here we go. And wrap. Wow. Look, Ma. I did it. I did it. Alright. Wait this way. We're just going to play with her eyes and her ears. And then get her in the Caddyshack back. Waka, 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 waka. Like as snug as a bug in a bug. Snug as a bug in a bug. Yeah. What? Little air dry. What? Waka, 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 waka. Alright, other side. Little ear dry. Waka, 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 waka. Alright, check it out. Good girl. You need it. Alright, so I'm just going to blow her face out real quick. And then put her in the Caddyshack bag. A little bit of a blowout here. Open that up.
You did it. Waka waka. Alright, in the Caddyshack back. Let's grab her and get her in there. Good girl. Alright, she's going to stay in here for about 15 minutes. I'm going to start with a low and slow drying. And then when she's about 80% dry, I'm going to blow her out. If she still had a lot of knots or tangles in her coat, this is not how I would dry her. I would be grabbing for this little tool, putting it on the end of my Salon dryer, and then I would put some happy hoodies on her head and I would blow her whole coat out, right? But because I was using the Beats brush in the bath and we were using the Thick and Thicker protein, which helps to condition and loosen any kind of, yeah, she's good. So we're going to do the low and slow drying. We're going to turn on the intake. We're going to put this on so she doesn't go through the two holes in the doors. See that? You don't put the phone on, she'll just climb right out. So that keeps her in. And then turn this on. I can't seem to message you back, so I have to turn everything off just to talk to you. So Karen, your cat is 15 years old now, but yet gabapentin has been around for 20 years. How does it make you feel to know that for 20 years there has been a product that would have blocked your cat's fight or flight? Usually $2 a capsule, right? How does it make you feel that no one in the veterinarian industry ever told you about it, right? Just want to put that across to you right now. Yeah, so how much money do you reckon you have spent with your sedate grooming so far? You do realize I don't speak your language, sorry. Those gabapentin capsules are $2, just saying. So, yeah, so how does it make you feel? It's been around for 20 years, but yet your cat is 15. So for 15 years of your cat's life, she could have had a pre-treatment that would have blocked her fight or flight. You use the word extreme stress levels, right? It would have blocked her fight or flight signal. It temporarily turned her into a dog. She could have been groomed at low stress levels her entire life, yet the veterinarian industry still, to this day, chooses to gatekeep that from people. So this is Sushi. She got the long hair shampoo package and a full belly shave. So we actually call that the natural here. And then her add-ons are a belly shave. So once you do a belly shave on a long hair coat, we change that service request to the natural instead of a long hair shampoo package. And then she gets one more add-on, which is her pretty panties. If she were a dog, it would be called a poop trail. If she were a dog being groomed, there wouldn't be any comments saying poor cat, because you know dogs are allowed to be groomed, but for some strange reason here in America, because it's a, as one cat grooming expert said, it's a European thing to not wash and groom your cats. It's a stigma that people have in their heads. Whereas everywhere else in the world, oh, they're washing, they're grooming, they're bathing their cats, you know? So, you don't need to feel sorry for a magic bubble cat who loves the feeling of being clean and coiffed, right? You don't need to feel sorry for a cat like that, right? You just need to feel sorry for yourself for not understanding how much cats love to be pampered and coiffed and clean, right? They don't, when she goes home today, she's going to think she's the queen of the universe. Yeah. Yeah. Right, Sushi? She's like, who told you that? Your mother. She said you think you're the queen after your grooming. She's like, you mean I'm not? Of what? The world? She's like, yeah. You're not the queen of the world. She's like, I'm not? Oh, God. Sushi. Where did you get that complex? Hmm? Where did you get that complex? What makes you think that? My mommy tells me I'm the queen every day. Well, of your house, of your household. Not the world, you silly. Of your household. Queen of your household, right? She probably means you're her queen, right? She's like, really? Yeah. Yeah. No, there is no queen of the world, actually. It doesn't exist. There's a queen of England. There's a queen and king and a queen of other countries, right? These do still exist, but there is no queen of the world. She said, well, there should be. And it should be a cat named Shuji. Sushi. Alright, well, I'll put in a good word for you. Alright. Waka waka. Waka waka. Waka waka. Waka waka. We're gonna sculpt your cheeks. She's like, yeah. Alright. You gonna let me? She's like, no. Well, then I'm not gonna sculpt them. But mommy likes it when you do it. Well, then you gotta let me do it. It tickles. It tickles. It tickles. Alright, well, there's a way to stop that paw from jumping up. You put a cone around the head, upside down. Yeah. Yeah. See if the small one will work. Usually you need a big one. Anyway, you turn this cone, invert it, put it upside down. That should keep the batting from happening. In theory. And then she'll go on to do it a different way. Oh, God.
know, because I outsmarted you. She's like, ha, I got one out. Well, what are you going to do with it? Can't do much with that. I'm thinking. Alright, well. Wonka. Just getting frustrated because I just outsmarted her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You did it. Good girl. Good girl. Are we gonna powder your nose? She's like, yeah. Alright. Little pink paw. Eye powder. Ready, steady, here we go. Getting it on ya. Powder your nose. Good girl. Good girl. You're adorbs. You're adorbs. Alright, all done. Alright, so her service request is called the Natural, which restores her whole outer coat, shaves her whole undercoat, under the belly, armpits, inner groin, and then her add-ons are the pretty panties. Good girl. Glorious. Glorious. Little spritz. Did we not take that with us? Okay, well, we'll use this then. Okay, you did it. All right, say goodbye to Sushi. Sushi is her name. Sushi. Sweet little thing. Her mom found her in a rescue, believe it or not. You'd be amazed at what you can find at a rescue, right? Yeah, absolutely amazing. She don't like her face trimmed on. Good enough. All right, say goodbye. Bye-bye. See you later. Thanks for joining. Come again.